Interestingly, the Guardian newspaper. It's been a while I looked at the Guardian. Northern Nigeria is bleeding. Buhari is sleeping. North is bleeding. Aroused from despair, Nigerians in the North are demanding the government fulfill its obligations to the people, security of lives and property. This was captured in Abuja yesterday. It's the picture story of the Guardian newspaper this morning. They are arising and they're on. Oh my! Some of the captions I cannot read. If you take a look at it, my people on Instagram this morning, who on Facebook yesterday live, but on Instagram this morning. You can follow me at the Golden Tomisin on Instagram, and you definitely get to watch the live show as it goes on in the studio. For my director will put a picture of the Guardian Hop there. Mr. Fatunke, this picture story.
I like you to repeat the caption.
Northern Nigeria is bleeding. Buhari is sleeping. Hashtag North is bleeding. And the caption there, just written as, aroused from despair, Nigerians in the North are demanding the government fulfills its obligation to the people, security of life and property.
Northern Nigeria is bleeding. Buhari is sleeping. And Nigeria is sleeping, to sleep, to fall.
Sleeping.
That captures it. It's a foreboding to more terrible things to come. I did mention the fact that it is raining cats and dogs.
Yeah.
The situation where a large swathe of the population
Yes.
that is relatively uneducated, unskilled,
Yeah.
have no hope,
Yeah.
are being recruited to be eventual terrorists. Even government will not want to agree to it, and who know how to pull the trigger of a gun. They don't have to go to schools to do that. I think it's an indication that our Nero, who might be fiddling while our Rome is burning, will eventually wake up to its reality. Retired General Obasanjo has said that there is no need flogging a dead horse. In a manner of speaking, I believe him. As much as I don't want to agree with General Obasanjo, you cannot give what you don't have. And it's obvious, most unfortunate, that the person that is ruling us has, unfortunately, nothing to offer us. So the more we ask of him, the more we'll just be splitting our heads. So what do? Let's take a half-empty bottle and begin to see what we can do
With it.
about it. So more blood is going to flow, more unrest is going on in the countryside in the north. More and more professional associations are priming up for next year to go on strike. Nigeria is going to be at a standstill, and we have an insensate set of, elites in the political class who, rather than wake up and smell the coffee, are pretending
that all is well.
All is well, when really,
Nothing.
When it begins to rain, even the roof is not going to be able to cover them.
Every one of us. All right, poor African countries, others get the $93 billion lifeline from the World Bank. This one is quite shocking because we were talking about Africa with Olayinkola Daniels on Tuesday. He's a constitutional lawyer. If you watched our Tuesday show, peradventure you missed it, you can go back on Facebook and watch the Tuesday show at MITV NG, and you get to watch the show again. And we were talking, I think Ola Dendario was also here, and I think we were talking particularly about Africa. And we likened the problem in Nigeria with Africa. And I must say that there is nothing about the situation in our country right now that doesn't seem to have a sister, a brother, a semblance in other African countries here and there. it now looks as if when they talk about poverty, they are talking about Africa. I looked at the poverty index of the world, and it's quite painful. Okay, let me just say that I understand that South Sudan has been going through war for a while, unrest. South Sudan topped the list. But the painful part, the first 5 countries in the world are at the highest level of poverty are African countries. Nigeria was at number 37 on that list.
Let me re-echo Dr. Akin Fatunke. He was there with us in Abuja at 51st Annual Accountants Conference, and he made a reference in large parts to what you have just alluded to. Yes, it's true. Africa is at the rock bottom. But I like to maybe slightly differ, have a minority opinion, so to speak. Not because I just want to be blindly patriotic, but to say that on the continent of Africa, we have 1 or 2 that are shining stars.
I agree with you.
Rwanda is the green capital of the world today. The whole world is going out there. And this was a place where in 1994 was full of skeletons and bones of the Tutsi, genocide, the Hutus and the Tutsi. Nobody gave that country a chance. Yet, it was coming.
They rose from the ashes.
They rose from the ashes because they decided to have a vision. They had a strong leader who decided that they were going to work with institutions, and the people trust him, and they followed. In the case of Ghana,
I pick out that word. The people trusted him
because he walked the talk. In the case of Nigeria, I'm going to talk about Ghana. In the case of Ghana, just some decades back, we know how we derided Ghana. We know how we derided Ghana. Some years back, South Africans were sending students on exchange programs to Nigeria. I also know that, medically speaking, virtually the whole world was coming to Nigeria, UCH, in Ibadan. We deliberately chose to run all these agrounds. So in the case of Nigeria, situations where we don't have any sense of shame, to the extent that we think that it has to be our brother, our sibling, our son, that we are going to be electing into offices, and then we now then just carry a face as if nothing is going wrong. So why I said I needed to say that is that even our God-forsaken, so to speak, according to the economists of London, Nigeria that is being mismanaged on a daily basis, we still were able to beat other European countries into kind of stupor. In sale, Nigeria came first when it came to looking at a few institutions. In other words, into everything bad, there's an element of good. What we lack in Nigeria, developmental economics that came to speak is, if I tell you, and I mean what I'm going to say now, Nigeria can be fixed in 2 months. Yes. You're going to ask me how. We did it before. When I say we did it before, what I mean is the whole ecosystem of Nigeria is like little bits and pieces of ecosystem that you have in the private sector. We had a run-down organization that has been in Nigeria for over 100 years. Everything was going southwards. Strikes, this, that, stock exchange, and then you got a visionary leader who now then came and said, enough. I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to energize you people. I'm going to punish. If you wantonly go against rules and regulations, to want to steal country, but I will train you. But if you wantonly continue to do that, and I'm going to make sure I reward those who are doing well. In a space of 6 months, that company, and I was involved in that company, it's called Mobile or Nigeria PLC, one of the Exxon Mobil. We came from nowhere, and we became the crown jewel in the not just in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa, in the whole of Africa. I tell you, in the whole of the world. We did it in 6 months. In other words, even if you feel that I'm exaggerating to say Nigeria can be fixed in 2 months, with the right leadership, all of us trusting. Trust is earned, not demanded. With all of us going in that right direction, with 201 million, like China did, we can turn things around in this country. But what do we have? Everything, the SDG goals, 17 of them are going southwards. The youths are looking at us and just wondering what is going to happen tomorrow. If we are not jumping in the lagoon, we are not doing this, we are not doing all that. In 6 months, okay, in 1 year, vision, rule of law, justice, consensus, pleading, saying that you have failed when really you have failed, and you raise up your hands and say, I failed. Give me a chance to do a repeat, if possible. Or I will have the humility to say, I can't do it. Let people who are better come patch on my shoulder because I have the political will to be able to do that, and enhance our youths and get it done. Refurbish education, refurbish our health system. Nigeria song can rise again. I told about Dr.
I think that was how you started this morning.
Additional.
Nigeria's song can rise again.
And he told us that it is with compassion and a heart of trust, which is earned. Not the one that you go to National Assembly and speak a lot of grammar. You go to the presidency and decide, and nebulously just decide that you are going to bring a policy that will continue to impoverish people. You don't compare likes and with likes. You want to raise taxes in a situation where you are quick to say that Nigerian tax to GDP ratio is merely 6%, when the average should be about 15, 16. And then you look like a place like some of the Scandinavian countries, or you look at Singapore, it is at that high. Yeah, and so because of that, you want to raise Nigeria's own. But in those countries, they don't dig their boreholes. They don't dig their wells. They have good educational system. So they see money being utilized and how that money is being utilized for. In Nigeria, personally, I'm an accountant, like you said, yes, and I'm a numbers person. What I see is situation, no matter how small or how big, taxes are being extracted. And when you ask me, what are some of these taxes being used for? I see a lot of private jets. So I see a lot of private jets going into nooks and crannies.
Are you alleging
that is all I am seeing. I'm seeing a lot of stealing. I see a lot of stealing.
Let's look
with
at
a scant regard to taking care of the common people. You are not going to see a situation where, like it said there in the north, it's also in the south too. It's everywhere. Nigeria is unraveling. Nigeria is not working.
Let me look at this one. Insecurity. Citizens blast federal government over Nigeria safer than 2015 comment. You have citizens reacted yesterday to the federal government's claim that Nigeria is safer today than in 2015. The federal government had earlier berated critics who accused President Muhammadu Buhari of showing no empathy over the worsening insecurity in parts of the country, saying that their allegation smacks. And Boko Haram would have declared Islamic State in Nigeria. This is some of the points. The federal government flays the critics. Bandits kill Kaduna lawmaker. Gunmen kidnap Imo monarch. Buhari should show empathy